All right, man, peace. So in light of the great Aaron Rodgers signing his 4-year, $134 million extension with the Green Bay Packers, what's left now is to evaluate what Mr. Tom Brady is worth. Of course, for anyone who has watched ESPN over the years, you know that the Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers debate is one of the conversations that they like to perpetuate because due to the fact that they have yet to meet in a Super Bowl, it's very difficult to evaluate who's the better quarterback. In my view, Aaron Rodgers is the most talented quarterback that I've ever seen. But Tom Brady is without a doubt the greater quarterback because not only has he accomplished more, but he's worked with an equivalent level of talent, in my view, on his team as Aaron Rodgers has on his team. And beyond that, in the playoffs, Tom Brady has just come up far larger than Aaron often has in bigger spots. So anyway, they're going to talk about it, and I'm going to chime in.
Aaron Rodgers is the richest paid player in the NFL. 4 years, $134 million, $103 million guaranteed. Will's still here with us. Max, I want to start with you. If he's worth that much with one Super Bowl ring, Tom Brady's got 5, how much is Tom worth?
Tom is worth whatever he's willing to ask for and whatever the Patriots are willing to pay him. That's exactly what he's worth. When you reach a level of greatness like a Tom Brady, you don't evaluate your own personal value based off of how much Aaron Rodgers is making. If Tom Brady was that concerned about getting paid the most, he would not be 40 years old, 41 years old, still getting paid what he gets paid. So Tom clearly has a different mindset from an Aaron Rodgers.
Significantly less than Aaron Rodgers because Rodgers is clearly better than Tom Brady.
Once again, Max Kellerman, the master of hyperbole. There is no quarterback in the history of the NFL who is clearly better than Tom Brady. We can say that Aaron Rodgers is more fun to watch, that he's more gifted, he's more talented. He can make more throws than Tom Brady can make. He's more mobile, etc. But to say that he's clearly better than Tom Brady, no. There's no one in the history of the NFL who's clearly better than Tom Brady. Tom Brady is one of the great quarterbacks of all time. But Max Kellerman makes a lot of these hyperbolic statements to try to accentuate a point that doesn't exist.
Rodgers does everything better than Tom Brady. On the field, you want to argue leadership goes to Tom Brady. I wouldn't argue against.
Now, Will Cain made a very pertinent and relevant response. Max Kellerman stated that Aaron Rodgers does everything better than Tom Brady. Will Cain said, except when.
That too much. I think that's kind of unprovable, actually, because Bill Belichick runs that franchise and is universally.
Right, well, tell me how many rings Bill Belichick won as a head coach before he got Tom Brady. That's how you would qualify that statement, Max Kellerman. We all know Bill Belichick was known as being a flameout as a head coach until he got Tom Brady. Now, do I think that he was ever a poor head coach? No. I just think that he needed that quarterback to take him over the hump. I mean, if Bill Walsh had not had Joe Montana, how would we think about him today? I'm never someone who tries to tear down a coach because he had great players or tear down great players because they had great coaches. In the history of professional sports, great players and great coaches normally go hand in hand. So I agree with Will Cain. What Tom Brady does better than Aaron Rodgers is win. And I think that Max Kellerman would have a better point if Tom Brady was playing with a roster like what Big Ben has on the Pittsburgh Steelers. But Tom Brady's playing with a roster whose talent level is commensurate with the Green Bay Packers' talent level. He's also in a division that is pretty much equally weak with the NFC North, which has been weak over the last few years until about maybe 2 years ago when Minnesota has started to rise in prominence.
Correctly recognized as the greatest coach and maybe GM in the modern NFL.
That's a good distinction. I think that Bill Belichick is arguably the greatest coach in the modern NFL. I think overall the most influential coach is Paul Brown.
In modern NFL history. Aaron Rodgers has a more powerful arm than Tom Brady. It's at least as accurate. He reads well, what about reading defenses? Well, why does Aaron Rodgers hold the greatest touchdown to interception ratio of all time? Tom Brady includes all time, reads defenses at least as well. He's clearly more mobile. This is a team game. It's a team game.
Well, once again, Max Kellerman, here's the problem, and I've stated this already in regards to the LeBron James versus Kevin Durant or Max Kellerman's assertions that LeBron James is infinitely better than every other player in the NBA. You can use the team game argument if you're saying that LeBron James or Aaron Rodgers are the best in their sport, and they just happen to be the best. But you can't say that Aaron Rodgers is way better than Tom Brady or that LeBron James is infinitely better than the second best player in the NBA and then claim that they don't win because it's a team game. No, if you're infinitely better than the second best player in the NBA, that means that you should be the deciding factor. Hell, you should be the lone factor in your team's wins and losses.
And so Brady, having been on far better teams with a far better coach, has won more Super Bowls.
But that shouldn't matter because Aaron Rodgers' infinitely greater talent than Tom Brady should be able to nullify that. And the fact of the matter is that many of the teams that Aaron Rodgers has lost to in the playoffs, one can make the case that he should have beaten.
But in fact, Aaron Rodgers has gotten his team by himself closer to winning Super Bowls than Tom Brady has.
I'm sorry, sir. What did you just say? You said Aaron Rodgers has gotten his team closer to winning Super Bowls than Tom Brady has. Maybe Max Kellerman really means that Aaron Rodgers has a greater impact on his team than Tom Brady. One can certainly make that case. But one can also say that the reason why Aaron Rodgers has a greater impact on his team than Tom Brady is because of the level of freedom that they give Aaron Rodgers to do whatever he wants. They let him scramble around in the pocket oftentimes when he doesn't need to, because Aaron Rodgers' brain works so fast that he looks over 2 or 3 options within 1 second of the ball being snapped, and he can already evaluate when his receivers need time. Now, Tom Brady knows who he's going to throw to oftentimes before the ball is snapped, so he does not need to scramble as much as Aaron Rodgers does.
If you isolate their value, clearly Aaron Rodgers is better. And the irony of all of this is that part of the reason that Tom Brady has won the Super Bowl as many times as he has and is competitive every year is because he gets paid so little compared to his value.
Well, what does that say about Tom Brady? Maybe he understands the team concept a little bit better than Aaron Rodgers in regards to what he feels like he needs to do to make sure that he amplifies or optimizes his opportunity to win a championship. But once again, you can't make the argument that Aaron Rodgers gets his team closer than Tom Brady does when Tom Brady has been to more Super Bowls than Aaron Rodgers has. Not just one more, he's been to more. I mean, he's been to 3 other Super Bowls that his team lost. And once again, I can't remember the last time that the New England Patriots were evaluated to have the best roster in the National Football League. Maybe the year they beat Seattle. Their roster was viewed as being exceptional that season, the year they beat Seattle. But I still would not say that they were evaluated as having the best roster. I would say that Seattle was evaluated as having the best roster in the NFL that year.
Because Tom Brady has sacrificed dollars in order to be on a winning team. But that's also because he can trust that his GM knows what to do with the money. Belichick is his GM. Would you trust that if you were Aaron Rodgers? Does Green Bay know exactly how to spend the money? So, of course, Rodgers deserves more than Brady, and he gets it.
What is this? I mean, are we playing horseshoes? Is it hand grenades we're playing? He's gotten closer. Last I checked, we didn't count how close you got to Super Bowl championships.
Well, I have news for you, Will Kent. We count that now. We count how close you get. We count how many finals appearances you make, because it's no longer about winning. It's about participation. You get credit for participation now. So LeBron James can be 3-6 and he can be the greatest player of all time. Aaron Rodgers can get his team closer to a championship than Tom Brady, so suddenly that makes him the greatest quarterback of all time. If Jerry West was playing today, they say that he was greater than Magic Johnson because he got to 9 finals, only won 1 out of 9. That's what we're working with now, with a lot of these pathetic individuals who want to evaluate sports as fanboys.
Last I checked, we didn't count how close you got to making it to the Super Bowl. We counted rings, and Tommy's covered up one hand. Here's the deal. You said Aaron Rodgers does everything better than Tom Brady. Everything better except...
No, Max Kellerman, it is a team game, but once again, you could not state that a particular athlete in a team sport is infinitely better than everyone else and then try to state that he's not winning because of his teammates. It doesn't work like that.
Except for one thing, that's win. Still, as I'm checking, that's the point of the entire game. The truth
That's not about his teammates? That's about the quarterback?
Let me tell you something. The truth of the matter is this. Molly asked about contract value. Aaron Rodgers deserves more than Tom Brady in contract value right now for one reason and one reason only. Because he's younger. But that's sort of...
Well, no. Aaron Rodgers deserves more money than Tom Brady because he negotiated more money. If Tom Brady's next contract comes up and he negotiates to get paid $36 million a year for 1 year, that'd be him making more money than Aaron Rodgers. He would deserve that because he was able to negotiate it.
That's That's sort of like having this debate about who's the better coach for one game only. I've seen people debating this. Jim Harbaugh or Nick Saban. It's impossible to have that debate because a career is built over time. It's like you coming out here and saying, you know what? Aaron Rodgers is the most fantastic bricklayer of all time. His ability to measure and place a brick in a wall is absolutely...
No, sir. Actually, the most fantastic bricklayer of all time plays for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Fascinating, otherworldly, perhaps best of all time. In the meantime, Tom Brady's over here laying the Great Wall of China. He's laid so many bricks that you can't keep up.
No.
No.
You are giving Brady credit for his team.
You're saying
the win.
No, sir. Actually, he's giving Tom Brady credit for his resume. That's what he's giving him credit for.
The Super Bowl wins are all accruing to only the quarterback.
You are taking away the things that Tom does, listen to me, that creates championships.
That's why Brady's in the conversation.
Taking $15 million a year is part of winning. Taking $15 million a year and being underpaid is part of his greatness. Doing what he does on a day in and day out basis is part of his greatness. Having an ego and drive at the age of 40 is part of his greatness. You're in love with throws, and that's fine. It's part of it. But the truth of the matter is, the only reason that Tom Brady should make less than Aaron Rodgers is because he's 40 and Aaron Rodgers is, what is he?
Yeah, that's good.
35? 36?
No, I think Aaron Rodgers is probably 34. I'll Google it.
34 years old.
Yeah.
Both points are valid.
Damn, Max Kellerman knew Aaron Rodgers' age real quick, didn't he? 34 years old. I know that for a fact because I sent Aaron Rodgers a happy birthday text message and I blew him a kiss on his birthday, so I know.
Both points.
I blew him 34 kiss emojis.
It's a valid, but Will, here's what I would tell you. From a talent perspective, I don't think that Tom Brady is better than Aaron Rodgers, and I don't think that you can simply go to the Super Bowl championships 5-1 as a cause for justifying what Tom Brady deserves in terms of it being more than Aaron Rodgers. Of course, when you're winning, and obviously that's the ultimate goal, we can't dismiss that. But in terms of...
Well, you guys oftentimes try to dismiss that depending on who your favorite athlete is. You have to be consistent. They play to win the game. That's what Herm Edwards stated, and that was a true statement. So stop trying to give so many of these athletes, just because they happen to be your favorite athlete, leeway into the conversation as the greatest player ever, the greatest quarterback ever, or what have you. And they've never won on the level of many of the other great athletes in their sport. We have to hold people to the same standard. LeBron James is 3-6 in the finals. Aaron Rodgers only has one Super Bowl. And there are years where he has gone out in the playoffs to teams that he was not supposed to lose to. He has to be scrutinized for that.
Of looking at them as individual talents at the quarterback position, I would make an argument to you that Aaron Rodgers has to deal with far less than Tom Brady has had to deal with. Tom Brady has the luxury of having Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft. Great ownership, great leadership from the top on down.
Well, one can certainly put forth the contention that Mike McCarthy is one of the top coaches in the NFL as well. You guys are trying to act like Mike McCarthy is a chicken dinner or something. He's known for being a very good coach as well.
That sort of massages and smooths things over to allow him to be the great quarterback that he is. Yes, there's a bunch of supplementary parts that are thrown into the equation. We get that. Even down to the offensive coordinator and Josh McDaniels with his jet screens and quick screens and all of this other stuff. The reality is that you've got a lot of things going on that benefit Tom Brady in terms of dip and dunks and what have you, giving it to the Julian Edelman, using Rob Gronkowski as a red zone security blanket and beyond. You've got the coaching of Bill Belichick. You've got the continuity at the offensive coordinator spot and Josh McDaniels. What is Aaron Rodgers complaining about? He's talking about it's a new system in place. You've been accustomed to doing stuff for years, and now you're running 5 different formations. You don't even know the signals or anything like that. So many things to figure out. So many question marks about Mike McCarthy, even though there's some continuity there. He's in his 13th year.
Right, but Stephen A. Smith, you're going on and on and on and on about what's expected of Aaron Rodgers. He's the highest paid player in the sport. He has the highest amount of guaranteed money in the history of the sport. Who gives a shit? He has to learn a new playbook. He's supposed to be a football genius. Let him sit his ass down and learn it. That's his job. He can ask his former race car driver, girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever that is, to help him study. That's his job. That's not really what the topic is about. The question is, what is Tom Brady worth now? What's implied by that question is, Is Tom Brady worth as much or more than Aaron Rodgers because of his accomplishments? We all know the edge that Aaron Rodgers has is athletically. Tom Brady's edge is that he's come up bigger in big moments. That's what the conversation's about.
The Mark Murphys, the Ted Thompsons of the world, the way they've run the organization, the fact that he's had to carry the franchise on his back, the fact that he's had to throw outside the numbers, that he hasn't had a stout offensive line available to him, and so many other different things. You look at what Aaron Rodgers has had to deal with. There is no denying that Tom Brady, the path towards a championship has been incredibly facilitated to him in comparison to what Aaron Rodgers has had to go through. And by virtue of that, I would not dismiss Tom Brady or disrespect him by saying he's nowhere near Aaron Rodgers, because 5 Super Bowl championships are 5 Super Bowl championships. Yep. And when you deliver what he delivers, you deserve a boatload of money. But if we're just looking at them as individuals, it is no question in my mind that Aaron Rodgers has had to carry a heavier load, that he is a better talent, and that he is more valuable.
Well, has Aaron Rodgers really had to carry a heavier load throughout his entire career? I'll say this. When he had the talent on defense, he won the Super Bowl. That's what I will say about Aaron. What I'll say about Tom is that even when he has not quite had the talent on defense, he's won the Super Bowl, or he's gotten to the Super Bowl. And that's my thing with Aaron. That's why I stated in the other video pertaining to him. He's going to have to get back to at least 2 Super Bowls, to me, to justify this contract. In my view, he has to win 2 more for us to continue to speak about him and laud him just to the degree that we laud him, because he is the greatest talent at quarterback that I've ever seen. But to mention him alongside names like Tom Brady and Joe Montana, he has to win at least 2 more Super Bowls to me. At the very least, he has to get back to 2 Super Bowls over the next 4 years.
Based on that alone, because without him, Green Bay would fall off the map. Belichick has proven at least one season that you can still win a few games without Tom Brady.
Okay, got it. I want to spin this forward, guys.
But anyway, that's basically it on that issue. We'll see if Aaron and Tom Brady are able to play up to par and live up to their expectations this season. So peace.